when he got up, he would be able to, do something in San Francisco. And then with the injuries there, he's a talented player. But, I think they brought in Ronald Jones. And I think that bringing in Ronald Jones and drafting Pacheco behind Allaire doesn't bode well for their confidence in him. They seem determined to try and make him work. But I think, again, as I've said before, at this point, I think we've seen and we know what Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in the NFL. Now, Ronald Jones is only 23. He's a young guy. He's got some skill, too. He was kind of trapped behind Leonard Fournette down there in Tampa Bay and wasn't really given much of a, doesn't seem to me that he was given much of a chance to shine down there. There's been a lot of hype around Isaiah Pacheco lately. And when you go as late as Isaiah Pacheco does in the draft, it's always an uphill climb to make any hay in the NFL. But he has had a lot of hype lately. I'm not so sure because of the existence of Edwards-Helaire, Jones, and like Dale said, Jerick McKinnon in front of him. I don't know that we're going to see a whole lot out of Isaiah Pacheco this season. Again, he's somebody that, yes, I'm jumping on and taking a flyer on late in a rookie draft in Dynasty because I think they have hyped him up. There is something there. There's something to work with. But Jones being so young, they're not ready. It looks like, unfortunately, they're not ready to give up on Edwards-Helaire yet. And with McKinnon in the mix, there's just too many mouths to feed in that backfield with too much talent to get too much out of Isaiah Pacheco this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we got these TSS fantasy guys. Should we take a chance?
All right, if they're around, let's hear what they got to say. Hey, look at you guys.
Welcome. Thank you guys so much for having us on. We are live from the Fantasy Football Expo. Lots of fun, to say the least. Thanks for having us on.
What you can't see from the TSS guys is that they've all got ice wrapped around everything from the waist down after yesterday's flag football tournament.
Not me. Listen,
yeah.
I play. That's never mind. That's because he didn't do anything. But I ran around. I literally played 4 plays and feel like I've run a marathon. So that's how deep I am, to say the least.
So what about Nick back there? He looks kind of off his game. How'd he do?
What do you mean off my game? First of all,
Nick's he's been partaking in the late night in the night activities.
Is that what happened, Nick?
Well, first of all, I was the only one not after the game because I played the entire 8 plays and not my ankle, my shoulder, my neck, my back, my knee.
That's because you gave about like 5% of his effort.
I gave 5% on the first play, 5 on the second, 5 on the third.
There you go.
Ask Nick his contributions to the game, actually, which was pretty much just a penalty at the end of the game.
No, see, that's BS because the guy slipped and fell. And he admitted I slipped and fell, and I got a penalty.
It might have been.
What was the penalty?
PI.
Excessive.
Oh yeah, pass interference. Well,
should be on the bench.
If you don't get a pass interference call once in a while, you're not trying though.
That's right.
That's
I got to prove it.
He made a concerted effort, to say the least.
So Justin, how's it going over there for Justin?
Oh, it's going great. Me and Kamish almost hooked up with a touchdown pass.
With each other.
No.
That was the after party.
After the after party, yeah.
It stays in Canton.
Okay.
Not enough drinks in Canton to make that happen.
Now what? No. So now, what else have you guys been doing down there? I missed out this year. I had other plans I had to take care of this weekend, but I'll be there next year with you. But what are you seeing down there? How did yesterday go? Did you guys do any drafting or anything like that, or how the rest of the things go for the rest of the Belly Up crew?
Yeah, they went great. We got Dan here. He's standing on the side here. Maybe he can talk a little bit more about the draft part of it. While the draft was going on. While the draft was going on, we went to the Hall of Fame. We went to the Hall of Fame. So let's get Dan in. He's going to bring you up to date on the drafting part, and then we'll tell you about the Hall of Fame.
So I'm sorry. What was the question?
How you doing, Dan?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good, Dan.
We're doing good. No, we're wondering, how's things going down there for the Belly Up crew? who did some drafting yesterday and in the various competitions that are drafting down there, and how'd that go?
So last night or yesterday afternoon, actually at 12 o'clock, we did the draft night out special, and they were doing, I think it wound up being about 10 leagues of 12-man PPR super flex leagues. Some of the other fantasy experts from all around the country were there doing that. That was me, Chris, and Adam were all there drafting on that one. Me and Chris wound up in the same league. I was in a different league, but yeah, it's been going great, man. We've met a lot of people, especially from like SiriusXM, like Howard Bender, Surgeons, and we've been meeting people left and right. Marcus Grant has been a great guy so far. Ran into Fabiano very briefly, but he's a busy man. He was in the
he's nationwide. He's got to rub elbows with everybody.
He was in the Kings Classic over there, and we stopped in on that and met some of those guys. So it's been going really well. The Expo's going on. It's a big hit right now. We got a lot of giveaways so far that we've already given out, so everything's going real smooth.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to being there next year. It looks like it's been a good time. I'm happy that you guys got to go and be there. Today's the expo and the forum. Are there forums going on today too, or was that yesterday?
A bunch of panel discussions going on. There's a couple going on right now. I believe Dynasty and the injury panels are going on at this moment. From 3 to 4, the redraft panel, I'll be on that one with Dwayne McFarland, Stepmom Lauren, Lawrence Jackson, those guys.
Oh, awesome. Yep.
We'll be taking questions for redraft strategies and who we like, who we don't like, and stuff like that.
Excellent. Yeah, no, and there's some good people on that panel. A lot of good Twitter follows on that too.
That's right. So Dan, we're talking about the AFC West on this show right here. So give us some good guidance. AFC West player, who is at the top of your list of, let's say, don't draft?
Don't draft? I would
don't draft. No pressure. No pressure. Dan.
AFC West that I am not drafting would be Hunter Renfrow. I don't think the target distribution is going to be there.
AFC West.
That's what he said.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow. Right?
Yeah. Hunter Renfrow, Las Vegas.
I was thinking he was saying Hunter Henry when you correct someone, you're wrong. I thought he said Hunter Henry for a second. I was like, how does that feel when you do that, Justin? Just inquiring minds want to know.
Might be a little too early for Coop yet.
But that would be the guy that I'm avoiding right now. His current ADP, I believe, is at wide receiver 31. I have him at wide receiver 46 at the moment. He had 9 touchdowns last year. He's not going to have the same touchdown rate again this year with the addition of Davonte Adams and maybe a healthier Darren Waller. We'll see if he's able to get back to the practice field soon.
That's one thing that you and I have disagreed on. We've disagreed on that. So
we're disagreeing.
I have him higher.
I'm disagreeing with you as well, if that one, Dan. But what about a player that's flying below the radar? AFC West.
Flying below the radar in the AFC West. I would say there's not enough people on Skye Moore.
We were just talking about him, so go ahead, Dan.
Nice. Yes, I don't know how the Chiefs receivers. Somebody's going to have to step up. Schuster will get the crack first. There's no doubt about that. But if he is still as inexplosive as he has been with the Steelers, it's not just the Roethlisberger thing. It's been Schuster himself having trouble getting separation the last couple of years. If that continues to happen, I think it won't be long before Skye Moore, who I think is the more talented route runner and more explosive at this point in his career, takes over that slot position, becomes maybe more of the safety blanket as far as receivers go for Mahomes.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. Terms of
we were just talking about him,
format.
Especially in Dynasty, as this show is. Skye Moore has a lot of value.
My big thing about this season for Skye Moore, though, is it's difficult for a receiver to come in necessarily right away and be that. I mean, there's very few Jamar Chases and Justin Jeffersons who step in and explode right away. And I don't think you're saying he's going to be that level either. But I just think there's enough veteran talent in front of him right now that I think for this year he's going to have to take a step back and learn. But I can't disagree with you on his talent. I think that talent-wise, he's got a ton of it. And in a dynasty format, like I said, I'm jumping all over him to be able to take him later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, the thing is, though, with veteran talent, other than Schuster, I don't know how much veteran talent there really is. I mean, MVS has shown he's a one-trick pony. Mecole Hardman has had opportunities, has not been able to take advantage of them. So I think by war of attrition, it might not be till week 8, week 10. War of attrition, though, I think it will be Skye Moore at some point.
Yeah, later season value. I agree with that. I think he could work his way in there by the end of the season. They may realize what they have or don't have in those other guys. I agree with that. That's a good call.
But I'm going to head down to the expo. I'm going to be back to
All
Jason
right.
here. Got more giveaways to give you guys.
All right. So we're
Easy.
about to do a commercial with you, Dan. So you might want to listen to
it. Nice.
All right. So this commercial is coming to you from True Classic. Here we go.
Support for today's episode comes from True Classic. This brand new sponsor has the absolute best fitting t-shirts a man can buy. Finding the right t-shirt with a little bit of a dad bod is incredibly frustrating. Most t-shirts are either too tight on your gut or look way too big and boxy. You're not in high school anymore, and it's time to upgrade. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men finally get a better fit at an affordable price. Our listeners get access to the best deal they offer. For a limited time only, get 20% off with the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY at TrueClassic.com. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on skinny models with six-packs, but most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers. Fellas, you are wearing the wrong clothes. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's time to highlight your best attributes with a t-shirt you can always confidently throw on. True Classic doesn't just stop at tees. They are your one-stop shop for men's essentials. Super easy and simple to fill out your wardrobe. From polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit to boxer briefs designed with a pouch to keep your bulge nice and comfortable. All their gear is top-notch quality at reasonable prices. It's about time you learn how to dress yourself properly. Upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic and get 25% off at TrueClassic.com with the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY. Free shipping included on purchases over $100 and 100% risk-free guarantee with a 30-day return policy. Stay classy with True Classic. Your dad bod will thank you.
Hey, that's no joke either. That is no joke either. I'll tell you what, it's not a secret that I don't have the same body I had 22 years ago as a college football player.
Let's not get started with that. So,
but yeah, those True Classic tees, the way they fit around the top, the way they fit on the shoulders. If you look at their model there in that commercial, most t-shirts that are built for bigger guys like that, they flare out here on the sleeves. They make your outline look ridiculous. But the True Classic tees, the way that they fit up top, the way that they kind of mask the dad bod a bit, I've loved them since I've got them. I've absolutely been in love with mine.
Chase, are you trying to tell everyone you have man titties?
No.
No, come on now. Let's be nice.
But there's definitely something going on.
All right.
There's definitely something going on underneath it, unfortunately. So yeah.
I know Nick's not saying anything about that. All right.
Ouch.
Chase, we don't need to see your tool shed, okay?
That way.
Okay. All right. We're off topic. All right. So
bring it around.
Yeah, we're bringing it back around. So Dale, you heard what Dan had to say about Hunter Renfrow. I think he's 100% wrong. What do you say?
It's going to be they've got a lot of weapons. You're gonna have to figure that out in terms of, they've got, of course, Adams now, and they have Keelan Cole as well, and DeMarcus, the former Chief DeMarcus Robinson. Yeah, they've got a lot of guys. It's gonna be interesting to see, how the ball is spread around there.
Because you got to figure that Davonte Adams he's going to need double coverage.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Hunter Renfrow, that means he gets single coverage. And so I like what he did last year a lot. And I think he's going to thrive in that offense. What do you think, Chase?
Oh, I completely agree. Now, he's not going to see 128 targets again like he did last year, not with a healthy Waller and not with Davonte Adams around. But he caught 80% of the balls thrown at him last year. He is a very efficient, a very good wide receiver. And like you said, if he's got somebody now who can draw double coverage, which he did not have for most of last year, he's going to see one-on-one quite a bit. Now, I agree with Adam's point, or with Dan's point about touchdown regression. I don't know if he sees 9 touchdowns this year, but he is still going to be a very efficient and he's not going to be the wide receiver 11. Nobody's expecting that. Nobody's expecting that again out of him like he was last year. But he is for the targets that he sees, he's going to be very efficient, and he is going to pick up a lot of points.
Okay, so
I'm glad you guys are having fun down there.
Yeah, there's something really going on over there. So because Renfro, they've got him at wide receiver number 37, and if he goes in that range, I think there's a lot of value to be had there. Mm-hmm. And Devonte Adams is at number 5. We all know if you want Devonte Adams, you're gonna spend a first round draft pick to get him, and he's worth every penny. And especially because Derek Carr, okay? So Derek Carr, he's the lowest ranked quarterback in the AFC West, okay? And that comes in at number 16. So that just tells you what kind of quarterbacks they've got in this division. And so I think number 16 might be low for him, especially he's throwing to his good buddy, Devonte, and everything else. They're going to have 100% chemistry and everything else. And so, Dale, number 16, Carr, low, high, how about the right?
I think it's about right. You know, they have a lot of weapons now, and you got to remember, Josh Jacobs caught a career high 54 catches last year, and so that's a lot of mouths to feed. But I think the main thing with Carr is that offensive line has to improve. They have to be better.
Yeah, because I got that here. He was sacked 40 times a year ago. That's not going to cut it.
Right, and they have all these weapons, but you know, if they're not better up front, it's still going to be tough.
That's a great point. They were the number 28 ranked offensive line last year by PFF, and they did not do a ton to improve it. The Alex Leatherwood pick was a question mark when they did it, and it was a question mark all year as they tried to find a spot for him. And it's still a question mark as they are still trying to find a spot for him. And where is he going to shake out in the grand scheme of things for them? Is he going to be a guard? Is he going to be a tackle? Yeah, they need to improve their offensive line play. That's not a secret at all. I think 15. I have Carr at 15, so I don't think 16 is off too much at all. The chart that I look at for ADP, he's at 15 right now, so he's dead on with where I've got him. I think that's pretty accurate right now. Let's keep in mind he had last year's wide receiver number 11, right, in Hunter Renfrow. So it's not like he didn't have anybody to throw to. He'll have a healthy Darren Waller this year. He'll have his college teammate, Davonte Adams. And Davonte Adams is a massive upgrade to literally any wide receiver core in this league. As a Packer fan, having watched Davonte over the last several years, I was not high on him early because of the drop problems that he had. But once he solved those hand problems, once he solved the problem with his hands and actually started catching all the balls that were thrown to him, you can't beat him for a route runner. You can't beat him for getting separation. He's big enough, strong enough, tall enough to win the contested catches. I think that he's going to be really good. He's still going to be really good down there. I'm not downgrading Devonte Adams because he lost Aaron Rodgers. But I think Carr at 15 for right now until I see more. That's about right for him.
That brings up a good point, Chase, because these preseason games, can we all agree, don't amount to jack squat.
Yeah.
Right.
They're fun for seeing some of the rookies.
Anything, you get to see them throwing around a football or whatever, but you're not going to see Derek Carr throwing to Davonte Adams.
No.
In the preseason.
No.
So.
And you're not going to get to see them running with Darren Waller taking coverage underneath and with Hunter Renfrow. Exactly. Yeah, you don't get to see all of that. You're right.
The only thing that we need to come out of these preseason games is nobody's hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Right. As the New York Jets can attest, because Zach Wilson was hurt. They got
the absolute best news they could get on that.
Because that's great news for me. Because and this goes right back to what we've been talking about, Chase. Why in the world are you doing drafts? Okay,
if you're doing a redraft,
we know belly ups into the charity ball, and all that stuff, which I got involved in, and all of a sudden now I'm sucked into a draft, right? And so as my third quarterback, I took Zach Wilson.
Third,
right?
You're okay.
Yeah, third. Okay. So I was thinking, okay, because first I was like, well, he's out, he's done, but.
I think everybody.
But this is just an example of what I'm talking about right here. Don't do just like you and I, Dale. We do the draft the Sunday before Labor Day. If somebody gets hurt after that, well, that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
But
My home league draft's on Labor Day, Monday. We do it as late as we can. Yep.
That's right. So
that's the way to do it.
So everybody that's out there that's doing drafts, please cease. Okay.
So now with the Raiders, we've brought his name up, but we haven't really dove into him. Now, what do we think of Darren Waller? Where do you guys have him? What do you see from him this year?
I've got him. Well, I don't have him, but he's listed. His ADP is number 5 at tight end.
That's where I've got.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. Dale, what do you think?
To feed there, and
it's a little high for me.
Yeah.
I've got him
when you're talking about a tight end, you just throw them out on the table, whichever one comes out on top.
Roll the dice and pick one up. Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you're talking about somebody like Mark Andrews, guy like that.
Now I like him, but I don't have. I have him at 7, which you can argue if 7 versus 5 is all that much or not. But
because there's always a guy like Schultz from the Cowboys that comes out of the weeds.
Fryer move, somebody will bubble up, and that we don't expect.
And so you need to find that guy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not taking.
Yeah, if you don't have one of those top 3 guys, if you don't have one of the, if you don't have the Kelsey or the Andrews,
wait till somebody comes around, maybe 3 moves or somebody like that, and so I am absolutely out of Darren Waller at number 5 tight end.
And I'm not necessarily all out on him. If he falls to me at the right price, I will take him and be happy with it. I think his backup, Foster Moreau, is somebody who doesn't probably get as much talk as he probably should in fantasy circles. He's a good performer. He's a good performer when Waller's out, if Waller gets injured again, and if he's out. They've got a strong tight end core. I think Derek Carr should be happy with who he gets to throw to there. Between his top level starter, because Darren Waller, when he's healthy, is a top level starter, and he's a game changing.
I'm not arguing that he's top level starter,
but I'm not sure
5,
that
I'm not doing that at number 5.
I agree with you. At number 5, he's a little too rich for my blood. If he falls to me at the right price, I'm happy with him though.
So let's see. Anything else about as far as the Raiders?
Let's talk about their running backs that you were so excited to talk about. Let's talk about Josh Jacobs.
So a lot of people are out on Josh Jacobs, and I'm not understanding that. Dale, where do you come out on Josh Jacobs?
Well, like I said, he had 54 receptions, a career high last year. It's kind of telling though that they brought in Brandon Bolden, so
I'm not getting too excited about Brandon.
Well, but his point though is, Bolden has history with McDaniels. McDaniels has been his offensive coordinator for the last 38 and a half years in New England. And Bolden, that's about all he does is catch passes. So if he pulls some targets from those other guys, because that's supposed to be Kenyon Drake's role too in this offense. And he's another guy that is going in fantasy drafts. He's a top 60-ish type. He's a draftable running back.
I got him at number 61.
I have him at 6. I have him at 58 ranked overall.
Okay, so right around in there.
Yeah.
So,
but if he gets any of his targets pulled,
and
he's not going to have that kind of value. If
they also they got Zamir White at number 74,
right? And Zamir White is somebody who's going to as well. That's the problem with the Las Vegas Raiders backfield right now, is that Bolden might pull enough targets away from everybody to not be fantasy relevant that way in terms of his own volume, but to hurt everybody else. And Zamir White, Zamir White could pull enough carries from everybody. Drake's strength is not his carries; it's his receptions. So Drake is hoping that Brandon Bolden doesn't pull any targets that way.
So Josh Jacobs at number 18. I
think that you have to approach this backfield the way you have the Patriots backfield.
I got the Patriots offensive coordinator. I think you're right.
But the Patriots never had anybody like Josh Jacobs in their back. That would be my counter argument to that.
They never had anybody that they used like they should have. Like Josh Jacobs.
Right. I guess that's a good point.
I'm thinking this is going to be a platoon. Well, you very much like the
Patriots. So committee, and as we all know, committees in fantasy, hands off.
I think Josh Jacobs has the talent to be a 3-down back. I really do. I think he has the talent to be a good 3-down back, but they don't have a great offensive line, like we said. And now they've got a bunch of other guys in that backfield mix, and they've got an offensive coordinator or offensive leader, I should say, in McDaniels, who has a history of the running back by committee. He's one of the worst offenders of it.
Exactly.
I like Josh Jacobs. I have him at 15 because I think his talent, and I think that the way they should use him dictates those kinds of numbers and dictates that kind of ranking. They did not renew his contract. They don't have to worry about having him down the line. They have no reason. They have no reason not
this year.
Exactly. They have no reason not to.
In Dynasty, Josh Jacobs may not have a lot of value after this year.
Right.
I agree. But for this year, I'm okay with it. If I get him as my RB2, I want to make sure I have a strong RB3. But he could work out very well as an RB2 for you this year. I'm not shying away from him in a draft if he falls to me at that price.
And I think it's telling that they declined his 5th-year option as well.
I think it's telling in terms of what they want to maybe do down the road in the future with especially with their new coach McDaniels. Drafting Zamir White, I think, the writing's on the wall for Josh Jacobs in terms of his tenure in Las Vegas. However, I think that they don't have any reason not to just pound the hell out of him this year.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to pound him until maybe the wheels fall off.
He maybe doesn't get 54 catches again. Like I said, I think your point about Brandon Bolden as off as Kevin may have found it to begin with, I think your point there is, like I said, I don't think that Brandon Bolden's going to be anything fantasy relevant in terms of in and of himself. I think where his fantasy relevance comes in is he may pull enough targets away from Kenyon Drake to make Kenyon Drake unusable, and from Josh Jacobs to pull his numbers down.
Is tenuous at best. Tenuous for Kenyon Drake.
This looks like a Josh Jacobs first and second down, everyone else third down type backfield, which hurts everyone's value.
Yeah.
All right. So let's switch over to, and I'm still going to refer to them, and I don't care, the San Diego Charger. All right. They are the San Diego Chargers. They can play wherever.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. All right. So the Chargers, they were, like I was saying, they were one overtime away from going to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people expect them to do that this year, but a lot of people have expected them to do that multiple years, and they have not done so. So I'm not riding fully into the San Diego to the Chargers to the promised land just yet. However, Justin Herbert is the number 2 quarterback in fantasy. Anybody disagree?
Oh no.
No, that doesn't matter what format you're playing. Doesn't matter how many teams are in your league. Doesn't matter PPR, standard, whatever else. Justin Herbert is number 2. Okay, we all agree on that.
Well, that dude's got some ability.
5,000 yards speaks for itself.
Yeah, 5,000 yards, right? And he also had 302 yards rushing. I was surprised at that when I was looking at
He's an athletic player. He's not just a thrower.
Totally athletic.
He's not Peyton Manning.
No. And, it's interesting that it took a collapsed lung to get this guy on the field. But once he got on the field, he's not getting off of it.
No, he is by far, he's definitely the number 2 quarterback in fantasy. Like I said, I think he outranks and takes that away from Patrick Mahomes now. He has all the weapons. He has all the athletic ability. He looks like he has that rushing floor. We're never going to look at him as the same as a Jalen Hurts or Trey Lance type as a runner.
No. He doesn't have to be that.
But he showed that he has that rushing floor. 300 yards and 3 touchdowns is pretty dang good for a quarterback. I'll take that out of my quarterback.
And out of these quarterbacks, he was sacked 31 times, which, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not Russell Wilson getting sacked 48 times and all that stuff.
No. He's not David Carr with the Texans.
Yeah,
it's not David Carr who got sacked 40 times.
He got 8. It's like 3
all
trillion
right,
times.
So when you think about it, because Mahomes had 381 yards rushing, and we think of him as being a far better rushing quarterback, but he only outrushed him by 80 yards.
Wow.
So Justin Herbert is the man.
Gold.
I love Herbert. My only problem with him is that it depends on your philosophy when you're taking a football team. Now in Dynasty, you take a Josh Allen, a Justin Herbert, take one of the younger guys and keep him forever. But in a redraft situation, now if you're looking at it, it depends on your philosophy of roster construction.
Round, okay?
It depends on your philosophy of roster construction. If you're one of those guys that thinks I want to just get one of the top quarterbacks and not worry about it and grab the points that guy gives me, and then settle for less at another position, either receiver or running back, then Herbert, then you can justify taking him where you got to take him at 36, like you said, third round, maybe possibly fourth round. But if you're one of those people that wants to wait,
he's not getting to the fourth round.
No,
I'm telling you that right now.
So that the price you have to take him, you have to ask yourself, what's your philosophy on roster construction? Do you need one of those top quarterbacks? Do you want one of them? And where can you settle? Do you think you're strong enough drafting, say, wide receivers enough that you're going to get the value to make up for that later on? Or are you content to wait for one of those guys down lower, like Jalen Hurts or Tom Brady, who scored a ton of points last year, but are going later in drafts than Justin Herbert is?
So
you could make an argument either way. It depends on your drafting philosophy and how good you think you are at drafting. I'm willing to take a shot on him in the third round, depending on my positioning. If I'm a high third round pick, I'd probably take somebody else and wait down the line.
Well, maybe if you're at the top of the draft and you can maybe slide him into the, at the turn going in the fourth round, and that's value.
Something like that. Yep.
Something like that. So we're coming up against the time limit, but I want to get these guys in here. So as far as wide receiver, okay, Mike Williams. Everybody is in on Mike Williams this year, big time. Mm-hmm. And so, Dale, are you buying that?
Oh, I'm buying that for sure. Yeah, I'm buying Mike Williams. Keenan Allen seemed to kind of regress.
Yeah.
This past season, and if only for that reason, that I'm definitely sold on Mike.
So, do you flip the two of them, Mike Williams over Keenan Allen?
I think so. I think he's ready to do that. And what do you guys think about Gerald Everett, the former Rams tight end?
Here's the thing. He's
Gerald got rescued out of Seattle, so we'll just say that.
Well, yeah, he can't do worse than he did in Seattle, and that's it's not that he played poorly. It's just that Seattle does not
establish. Russell Wilson don't throw to the tight end.
No,
he had some good moments with the Rams, but
I'll tell you what, they are going to be a tough red zone team to defend. I mean, we know that they've got talent across the board anyway, but between now Everett and Williams in the red zone, a couple of big targets like that, they're going to be scary that way. Interestingly, when I did my rankings, my first set of rankings, it shook out that I had Allen and Williams ranked at 18 and 19. I have them back to back. Now that's a little different than what their typical ADP is. Williams is typically the chart that I have. That's right on for him, 19. But I have the chart that I've been looking at has Keenan Allen as ADP wide receiver 10. And
that's exactly what I have. Chase at 10. Mike Williams is at 15.
If you look at my rankings,
is high.
If you look at my rankings, you'll see that I have a red avoid by Keenan Allen. I need to couch that in a little bit of.
When you look at the numbers, Chase,
right?
Because Mike Williams caught 30 fewer passes last year, but he had more yards and he had more touchdowns.
No, I don't think that people need to avoid Keenan Allen on their teams. What I'm saying with that avoid is that I think that for equivalent production, which is what I see them giving you, you're getting better value out of taking Mike Williams where you can get Mike Williams. You will have to pay a higher price to get that same production out of Keenan Allen. So
Exactly.
that's where the avoid comes in on my rankings for Keenan Allen. I love Keenan Allen as a football player. I wish he was on my team.
He had 106 catches. How could you not like him?
He's a beautiful football player. But at the price you're going to have to pay for him, and at the price you can get Mike Williams for, Williams is the better value, in my opinion. Especially like you said, Dale, after Allen is getting older. And after last season, he's getting older. Mike Williams is young and ascendant. Plus, they have Jalen Guyton and Joshua Palmer behind them, who are both explosive, capable football players. Josh Palmer's on a lot of people's sleeper teams this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a lot of people's sleeper rankings this year.
All right, so Austin Eckler, first round pick, yes?
Yeah,
top five,
he's
yes?
PPR gold.
PPR gold, that's right. If you're in PPR leagues, and, Dale, we just revealed that I'm at number 5 in our draft.
Right.
I'm praying that Austin Eckler is still there. I doubt it. But he's at number 4 at the running back rankings. I would put him a little higher than that, even higher. He's got to go in the top 4 picks to me.
Oh, I have him ranked at running back 5. I'm not worried that Isaiah Spiller is going to take over for him at any point this year unless he gets hurt. Isaiah Spiller's entire fantasy value in terms of redraft, in terms of this season, is going to hinge on the ankles and knees of Austin Eckler. As long as those hold out, Isaiah Spiller is an afterthought for this year. In dynasty formats, I think Isaiah Spiller is a beautiful pickup because I think that he has the ability, he looks like he has the ability to step into the Eckler role after post Austin Eckler.
Isaiah Spiller's at number 65.
Yeah. And I've got him ranked. I've got him ranked highly. I've got him higher than that anyway. I've got him at 48 right now going into the season because I think he does have value in case Eckler goes down. And Eckler has gone down.
Eckler doesn't have anything back of him.
No.
He had Justin Jackson from last year.
Justin Jackson's gone. Joshua Kelly.
He's gone.
Joshua Kelly is who he is. Isaiah Spiller's the shiny new toy.
Let's not get crazy about him. Right?
If Eckler goes down, Isaiah Spiller takes that role, and he will have value in that role. And running backs typically have an easier time fitting in early in their career and younger in their career. But I've got Eckler ranked at number 5. His ADP is number 2. If you're excited about him that way, take him at 2. You can't go wrong. If you get him in the top 5.
I'm taking over CMC and Dale. You and I have talked about this a million times over.
And Derrick Henry as well, you think? Or
well, yeah, I don't have him ranked higher than those two. Mm-hmm. But however, if you are more comfortable with it, it's your team and take the comfort. I have Christian McCaffrey ranked as my RB4, and I have a red avoid right next to his name because I've been burned too many times by him.
I drafted him number 1 overall. I drafted him number 1 overall last season.
As you saw, in the introduction right there, mm-hmm. I took CMC as my very first dynasty pick.
Yeah.
Okay. And it had every reason to do so.
Right.
And then he went out and had a season for the ages. And then he's been in a broken wheelbarrow ever since then.
Yep. The problem with him is that if he comes to you at a certain point, you have to jump on the potential in the first round. But I don't think you're locked into having to take him
at number 5. I'm not taking CMC.
I have him ranked at number 4. I'm not necessarily taking him in the top 4 picks, which might sound contradictory to some people, but at a certain point, what it means is at a certain point, you have to take his value.
In the first round, my philosophy is you take the player that has the highest floor possible. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because if you mess up that, as Dale, as you're well aware, because you took CMC a year ago, and then you were behind the power curve the whole rest of the season, trying to make up for everybody else's first round pick.
Yeah.
So, but as this is dynasty, I'm stuck with CMC. Okay, it's just the way it is. And
you're probably not getting as much out of him if you want to offload him. You're not going to get as much out of him as you probably think you might.
And this guy in my league actually came to me and said, "Hey, he made some ridiculous offer. I'm not taking that nonsense."
Right.
And then so I turned right around and made another ridiculous offer right back to him. You know what I'm saying? And,
now
if you
it's
want
toxic.
this guy, come and get him.
Yeah.
And of course, he turned it down, which I respect him for doing that. But we're on CMC. But as Austin Eckler, I'm taking him at number 5 if he's available. There's no question in my mind.
Yeah, particularly PPR, absolutely.
A PPR,
he carries even more value in a PPR league. Yes.
Yeah, it goes to skyrockets through the roof.
Half
PPR.
or full PPR. He is a top 5 pick.
Okay, so we are coming towards the end of the show. So where do we place these 4 teams? That's what I want to know. Mm-hmm. Does it go Kansas City? What position do we put in these teams, Dale? Wow. Who wins the division this year?
That's rough. A lot. There's so many factors. Like we were talking earlier. How does Russell Wilson pan out in his first season in Denver? How what that's going to be like? We don't know. I mean, if he's Russell Wilson, the one we know and love, they could be really good. I think you still got to go with the Chiefs. They have a.
Did the Chargers finally make the playoff after teasing for so long?
Yeah, I agree on that.
You think so, Chase? Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think the Chargers win the division. I love the defensive upgrades they made. They did not just. I mean, the AFC West was an arms race, and everybody. Oh, we got Russell Wilson. Oh, we brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, and we brought in this guy. But they were the team that really looked like they went out and concentrated on the defense to defend the other 3 teams they have to play in that division. I love the upgrades they made there. I love the ability that they have there. Like you said, they were 1 play away last year from making the playoffs. I think Herbert takes a step forward, and taking a step forward is a scary proposition for the rest of the league if Justin Herbert gets better. I like the Chargers to win the division. I like the Chargers, then the Chiefs. I like the Broncos after that, and I like the Raiders last. And my biggest thing about the Raiders finishing last, they've got a new coach. They've got that porous offensive line, but I think if they can get that sorted out, there's no reason they can't bubble up to the top in the next couple of years. They're still going to have several years of Derek Carr and several years of Davonte Adams, several years of those weapons. But for this year, I see Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders.
All right. So that is going to bring us to the end of this Belly Up Fantasy Live Football Dynasty edition. And Dale, I'd like to thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Dale. It's good to meet you.
Yeah. Like I said, you were the introduction to me into fantasy football. So, and you and I have had discussions aplenty about fantasy football. So I know you know what you're talking about. So it was great having you on the show today. Great. And so, Chase, let us know where you can be found out there.
All right. Well, like I said, at SDT Chase FFB on Twitter, you can find me there, find my fantasy football takes on that and thoughts on life and everything else. As I mentioned repeatedly on the show, my first draft rankings, my first preseason rankings came out this week. You can find those on the Belly Up Fantasy Sports.com. And keep an eye out for team previews. I'll have team previews of plenty coming out here between now and the beginning of the season. So.
All right. So Dale, now that you've gone national, you're not on Twitter, are you, Dale?
I'm not.
Okay. You might want to get on there, create yourself because now you're national brand now. All right.
Awesome. Woo! Nationwide, like ZZ Top.
Speaking of Twitter, you can always find me at Kevin62 WILSEA. And my wife and I are finishing up our anniversary week. So I was quiet this week. There's still a couple of articles that I did that are out there as far as fantasy baseball are concerned. And I will be back on the beam with another article coming out this week. There is no fantasy baseball show this evening. Vince is out on the road, I guess. And but there we will be next week. So you can be sure about that. And just throw it out there about fantasy baseball. Thursday is the trade deadline and ESPN League.
Woo!
Okay. So if you're looking at making any trades in fantasy baseball, you got to do it before Thursday, noon Eastern time.
All right.
All right. So having said all that, thanks for everybody for joining us, and we will see you next time. Hopefully, Andrew, you will be with us once again.
Andrew will be here, and we'll be talking the NFC West. We saved the
That's
best
right,
for
NFC
last.
West, and that's right. And then we'll be finished with our divisional look
Divisional
through.
previews. Yep.
That's right. So, and you know, I'm a Seattle guy, so I have to say I'm not really looking forward to it. Just like when I went on TSS Fantasy and we were talking about the Seahawks, it was not a pleasant experience.
Smith.
But that's my cross to bear right now.
All right.
Anyway, so we will see you all next Sunday. Remember, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, and everybody have a great week.
Slanja.